in South Delta. I live in Ladner. I grew up in Vancouver, as did my husband, and we owned a townhouse in Shaughnessy for about 4 years or so. And then when my son was born, we found the townhouse to be too small for us. And we needed a bigger place. Well, I suppose we could have lived there, but we wanted a bigger place. And this was about 21 years ago. And at the time, we had lots of friends who were moving to North Vancouver at the time. And we were looking at what we could afford and the bigger place that we wanted. And so we started looking in North Vancouver as well. And everything that we found that was in our price range, what we wanted to spend, was a fixer-upper. And my husband and I are not very handy with a hammer and a nail, and we didn't want to get into renovations or anything like that. First of all, there was the cost, but it just wasn't something we wanted to do. And at about the same time that we were looking for houses in North Vancouver, we were invited to a barbecue at a friend's house they had just recently bought in Ladner. And they invited us for a barbecue on a Friday night. And we thought, oh, Friday night, oh, the traffic's just going to be, Friday evening, the traffic's going to be bad. Just like everybody else, we had tunnel phobia, because you have to go through the tunnel to get to Ladner. But as it turned out, we got there in about 15 minutes. And we thought, wow, that didn't take very long. And we saw their house, and it was a new house, and we thought, oh yeah, we could do this. And it was also, my mother, my parents at the time lived, well they still do, in the Oak Ridge area. And so it was a nice, easy commute. My son was small, and I wanted to be able to be close to my mother and father. So North Van was always a bit of a hike anyway. So we opened up our real estate search to Ladner. And that's where we moved. I hated it at first. I missed the trees, I missed the topography of Vancouver. It's so flat, all the houses look the same, and I didn't know anybody. But over time, it grew on me. And of course I met people, and it ended up being a really good place to raise our children. Great sports, really good community services for the family, for the kids, good education. Everything was great. It turned out to be a really, really good choice. And I grew over time to appreciate the beauty of the Delta. And it's a fishing, farming community. There's a lot of authenticity in Ladner. My dog has never known a leash. There's the dike system. You can ride your bike for miles. I kayak on the river. My husband plays golf all the time. And we both work in downtown Vancouver. So the commute is not bad. The commute has actually gotten a lot better over time. 20 minutes with HOV bus to Bridgeport, and then 20 minutes for Canada Line. So the commute is really, really good. It's really fine. And now our kids are almost out of the house. And we've actually moved twice in Ladner, and we're very happy with our home that we have now. And we could afford to move back into Vancouver, but we don't think we will. Anyway, does anyone have any house hunting stories they would like to share, or any of their viewpoints on city living versus suburban living? Yes, go ahead.
I did the reverse.
Okay, yeah.
When I first moved here, I lived in Port Moody.
Yeah.
And after a period of time, I really wanted to live in the city. And I wanted less maintenance of a home, etc. So my wife and I went the other way of selling the house in the suburbs, moving into downtown Vancouver by Granville Island, selling both our cars, which I haven't had a car since 1999.
Wow.
And we've been using public transit. We both worked at the airport, so it was closer for us to go. We actually got rid of our cars because the only time we used them was to go to work. So anyway, that's my brief saga, and
Yeah.
you couldn't talk me out of living in the heart of the city.
Yeah, yeah.
I really like it, and I mean, I have, my child, when he was young, never had to cross a street to get to school.
Yeah.
You think about living in the downtown of any city, your child doesn't have to cross a street to get to school.
Yeah.
Because you could just walk along the seawall. There was no
Yeah.
cars and nothing. Anyway, that's, it's somewhat the reverse.
I know,
But,
interesting, yeah.
it's, it worked for us certainly. And
Mhm.
at the time that we